Let's talk a little about the live-action One Piece show that's on Netflix, because it's breaking a lot of records for Netflix. It's definitely broken the cycle of bad Netflix anime adaptations. Most people seem to be enjoying this show. I know there's a lot of people out there that don't like it, but from what I've seen, the majority of One Piece fans do seem to enjoy it on some level. I can at least say it doesn't seem like they outright hate it. Kind of the opposite of Cowboy Bebop. You even had the creator of Cowboy Bebop trashing that show, which was a huge mistake. Now, what's funny is this is the same studio that made the live-action Cowboy Bebop. And I made a video on this the other day talking about how they came out and said they had learned from Cowboy Bebop and they weren't going to make a lot of the same mistakes. And it does seem that they did learn. I actually watched 2 episodes of this. I'm going to probably finish it, actually. I watched 2 episodes of it. I'm not a One Piece guy. Never really got into it because it's just too long. I'm sure I probably would like it, but it's just so long. But I did want to check this out just to kind of see what it felt like. And I got to say, the first 2 episodes I actually liked quite a bit, particularly the actor who plays Luffy. He's really good. These 3 on the right are the only ones I've really seen so far, and I liked them. I thought they did good. It feels like an anime brought to life. It really does. Feel like they've nailed it. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get a lot of heat from diehard fans in the comments, and I can't speak on the same level of you guys because I'm not a diehard One Piece fan. I wasn't even really a big fan. Maybe that's what they're going for, are casuals with this. But the casual market is pretty big. And if hardcore One Piece fans are upset, I don't know what to say. I'm sorry. I can't speak on your level because I'm not a hardcore fan. I just wanted to see if the show was any good or not. And just judging this based purely on the 2 episodes I watched, I thought it was actually pretty good. I don't know if that changes over the 8 episodes, but the first 2 were pretty damn good, in my opinion. I liked it, and I will probably finish it. And just going off of a little bit of stuff on Rotten Tomatoes, the audience score seems to reflect a lot of the things that I was saying. You've got a 96% audience rating. What's funny, though, are critics. For all critics, it appears that it's 83% fresh until you click on their top critics. It drops down to 62%. And I was wondering, well, what is their problem with this show? Why are the top critics, the top dogs, the most authoritative authorities on One Piece, the guys that are going to give you the best reviews out there, what are their problems with this show? Well, it's fan service. Because this show, whether it did or not, I can't say if it did or not, because like I said, I'm not a One Piece fan. I don't have anything against the property. I just haven't gotten into it because I look at the show now as a giant time investment because of how long it is. But the creators of this show worked hand in hand with the creator of the manga. From what I understand, from what I've seen, he is heavily involved in this show. Big time. And he has to approve everything. That right there gives me a good feeling, number one. And it informs me on why I thought the show was so good. And that's because the guy who made it is there, and it's retaining the feeling of the anime just based on the fact that he is working on it and so heavily involved. Him being there and working on it is a big deal compared to Cowboy Bebop, where they thought they could do it without the creator, and that didn't work out. Like, these two series are night and day different. But apparently, trying to please fans is a reason to give the show a bad score. And I'm not kidding. Fan service is what they knocked it down for. They gave it a 6. Netflix's One Piece is an entertaining adaptation that's hindered by a desire to recreate every major event found in its source material. Well, why wouldn't you do that? Why wouldn't you want to do that? You would want to capture what made it successful in the first place. That's why you're making the show, because you want to capture it. It should be an instant success because you're trying to capture the things that made it a success in the first place. So here's their verdict. Netflix's One Piece strives to recreate the magic of its source material in live action, but this requires jettisoning some pieces of the plot. This creates an interesting variation of the long-running manga and anime that works in parts, and the Netflix series is at its best when it charts its own path in response to the changes made by showrunner Matt Owens and the writing staff. Unfortunately, instead of committing fully to this retelling, One Piece constantly sails back into familiar waters and fan service, muddying the experience. It's a shame, considering most of the other aspects, from the visual and practical effects to wild action scenes and endearing cast, work well together. While this live-action version does an admirable job of showcasing the spirit of One Piece, its abridged treatment of the plot removes most, if not all, of its heart. Highly disagree. Highly disagree. And I think most people do. Most of the reviews over here are very glowing for this show. I've looked through quite a bit of it. There's some criticisms, but for the most part, people do seem to enjoy it. And if they follow this path, like, you could have a long-running show here because, I mean, there's plenty of shit to adapt. The show's been around for, 20 years? So this could be a long-running show. I'd personally rather it be good than bad because it's nice to have something to watch. I'm almost tempted now to finally, dive in on this anime. It's just so long. But I'm actually interested now. If anything, this is probably going to convert me into a fan, which is, I would think, a good thing. I don't know how many more fans this can bring in, though. This is, the biggest, most successful, I think, shonen anime manga ever. It's been around for a long, long time. It's outsold Superman, Batman comics. I mean, this is the top dog, whether you like it or not. It's got too much success surrounding it. So, I mean, I have to give it to. I thought this was going to be a crash and burn scenario, but they broke the cycle, man. They broke the cycle and made something good. And hats off to them for that. That's quite an achievement because we have been swimming through shit when it comes to anime adaptations for a long time. But apparently reviewers don't like fan service in the show. Anyway, that's pretty much it. Let me know what you guys think about all of this. I'd like to hear from you. What are your thoughts on this? How do you feel about this, especially if you're a One Piece fan? What are your thoughts? I'd like to hear from you. Also, if you would please subscribe, share the video. Make sure you're still subscribed. Hit that notification bell. Check out my Rumble and Locals, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace. Make sure to check out my Locals. There's a link in the description. It's a fun community that I'm trying to build over here. If you don't want to support me on YouTube, you can come over here. None of that money goes to YouTube. You also can just come over here for free. But if you are a supporter over here, I do plan on doing an extra live stream once a month and throwing links to the supporters so you can actually come on and have a supporter live stream with me. Also, it's a good place to catch all of my content.
You don't have to worry about notifications like YouTube. They'll definitely work over here. So come check out my locals.